Okay, so we're back. Sorry here, I need to. Okay, so we're back. We're back here live, and I need to get the link. Get the link. Okay, so sorry, I need to too many things at once. It's the link. I want the link of the session. Where is the link? So we go here, and I need to give the new link because I lost the transmission because of a cable. Okay, so sorry about that. And I'm no beginner at live streams at all. So here we go again. Let's go at this. There you go. So the beginning is always very slow with me. Welcome to the stream. So I'm going to share the new link of the stream right now. Oh, baby. Come on, copy paste this is all I want. Okay, live. Now, come on. Technology doesn't help you. Live. Now. AC. Tweet. This one goes away. Okay, so it was there. Okay, whatever. So, welcome. Welcome. No, this is Blender. Hello. I stopped using 3D design years ago. This is Blender. Everybody knows Blender. Blender. This is Blender, and actually it's on. Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, so let's get started. We're here. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. My name is Damien. I've been teaching jewelry for almost 20 years now. Well, 19 years. 19 years of teaching 3D jewelry design, jewelry making, jewelry drawing, wax modeling by hand, etc., etc. And today we're here with Blender, 3D Blender. Okay, why Blender? Because Blender is good at many things, and it's excellent to make mesh modeling, sculpting, and make it as an STL for 3D printing, because all the models I create or that I do for clients get 3D printed. So obviously, and Blender is very precise also for, well, precision. Blender is very precise, and many people don't believe that, but that's not my problem. The fact is Blender is very good at CAD. So let's go. The thing is that the ring, okay, so the ring is number 8, and let's get started. So number 8, American, because many clients. Okay, so number 8, 18.2, that's the internal diameter. So mesh, circle mesh, 120, 18.2 divided by 2. Okay, so that's the finger size. Come on, it's a 0. Okay, yes to the view. Okay, so that's the finger size. So this is size 8. Reference. And let's save this here. Ring. This is twist. This is a twist ring. Twist ring. So it's going to be customized. Size 8. The stones, for the stones of the client. Okay. And we're going to do this. So the central stone. Now, finger size, always start with the finger size almost every time. Okay. So the central stone is very big, 8 millimeters. So here I'm going to append diamond. Where can I get that diamond? Not in these. Okay, so let's go to 23. This one. So I'm just looking for this one is big. The gemstone, diamond. Where do my diamond? So diamond central diamond. Okay. So this is going to be 8 millimeters. Okay, so that's the size for the central gemstone. And the ring is hollow. So this is the diamond, central diamond. Okay, and 1.6 for the side diamonds. Copy paste this. Okay, so that's what we're going to happen here and there. So okay. Yeah, you're kind of asking the wrong questions. You get to use a software because that's how it happens. I worked with Design 12 years, and it's not about, you can do anything you want with almost any software. So it's not better. It's better for what? I use the software for my own reasons. So it's not about what software is better than the other. That question is a bad question. And yes, there are bad questions. So no, any software is good. Any software is good. Any software is good. All right, so any software is good. It depends for what. If you need to modify many designs, you need to use 3Design, not Blender. If you make many specific customized design, Blender is way better. It's way faster. So it's not what's better, it's for what. You need to think, your mentality needs to change. Like, it's not better for what. But you said why. Okay, so it's pretty good. Anyway, it's not about softwares. It's about what you can do with the software. And every software has tools that you won't find in other softwares. And but you should use the software because for your own reason. Nobody told me to use Blender. Okay, so now we need the cylinder, yeah, for sure. Okay, so copy this F. Blender is great because it's great for mesh modeling, and for jewelry precise CAD modeling. Blender is very good, very good because of that. So now this is a twist ring. So let me see. So it had 3, 2. Okay, let me. So what I'm doing first is adding divisions. Let me go to world. Let's make it standard. So the client wants this to be specifically this size. Okay, so this is the size of. Okay. So first I'm going to create the body of the ring. So this is the size ref 3.2 per 1.7. So the ring is not thick at all. So what I'm going to do here is a rounded profile as a mesh. Should it be a mesh? No, it shouldn't. Okay, so I'm going to make Okay, let's add a Bezier circle to the view. Center it. Let's move it here. So I'm going to make a customized ring. You know what? I can turn on the screencast. That's pretty good for the live session. Okay, screencast. So you can follow the keystrokes or people like that. So here, let me make this 5. So 5. Why? Wait. Why here? Okay, this is pretty nice. So now let's create a curve. Let's make a curve, Bezier curve. But to the view, please add a curve to the view. Here we are. So some parts of the ring, and Blender is really nice because you have NURBS, you have mesh modeling, you have curves, you have very nice tools on the Bezier tools, profiling, and it's really nice. So now this is going to take that profile and yes, so the beginning is always boring for even advanced people, and I know that of my streams, that's how it goes. First I need to set up things, I need to check the data that the client is sending about sizes, things like that. Okay, now here we're going to tilt this, and let's go 90 here. Okay, this. Now reset all the things with the 0 then. I know it's 180, that's pretty good. Switch the direction to. Okay, now when using Bezier curves, I'm going to follow the finger exactly, and I think that this guy here is going to be a bit bigger. Yeah, like this. Okay, so welcome to the stream. So I don't know if you're already familiar with my work. Only people who've joined the streams are familiar with my work. Sometimes are not. Okay, so here is the resolution of the curve. Let's go up. So following the finger size, right? So this is the lower part of the body. The body right there. Okay. And I'm going to be modeling. So let me show. Okay, so this is a reference image. So it's a twist ring, big central ring, prong settings, then a prong channel with smaller side stones, and then the body of the ring, the client wants it to be rounder, not rectangular, and that's what I'm doing now. That's what I did. Okay, so let me remove this. Okay, so the central stone is pretty big. So now I need okay, so now I'm going to create no cube. Plane. Okay, the plane at 1, the stone has 1, 1, 6. Stone has 1, 6. So I'm talking numbers of diameters, sizes. So the stone is at 1.6. So this needs to be 2. Okay, and this needs to pass just around this. It's got 0 here. Okay, now this I'm going to project. I'm going to project this and shrink wrap. So this goes like this: shrink wrap right there, and it's going to be nearest. That's pretty good. Okay, so we have this, and now I need to start extruding. Even extruding, I said, so extruding, please, extrusion. So, and this is going to make so extruding and rotating. Okay. La 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 la. A bit of music. Generally, I said extrusion, not shift D. Oh. So this curve needs to be stronger. So the beginning, it's always not impressive, but that's exactly what I like about my process. In anything, not necessarily jewelry oriented, very good projects are never impressive at the beginning. That's a fact. Okay, so here, which working on the z-axis. Okay, I'm going to bring it a bit closer to the cylinder, which is a finger size. Okay, it's shrink wrap, but because it's on the nearest surface, yeah, at the beginning, my techniques and all, they don't seem to be very efficient. I seem to be losing a lot of time. People don't understand why I use a blender and things like that. So what I'm going to do here is add some offset, okay? But when I'm done with the lines, then everybody wants to know what software I'm using, how I do the things I do. And it's always the same story. But that's how life goes, you know? Like I said, at first, nothing is impressive. It even looks dumb. So get used to it. Get used to it. Okay. So we have this. So we have 2 branches on a twist, and I'm going to need, yeah, I'm going to need this to stay over the cylinder, all right, obviously. Okay, so this one needs to be centered, and I'm going to need, this will be the last one. The ending is sharp. It looks like an almond shape at the end. So I need to make this with more points. This. So we can properly close. So we can properly close the ending. Okay. Here we are. So let's follow this. Okay, we're good. So now, This is what we have for now. Obviously, it's very raw. And I need to go to the other side too. So here I'm going to do something very interesting with the... Okay, so this ring is a twist ring. It's symmetrical on the center, so it's a 180 symmetry. So I'm going to do an Alt D. Well, first let's reset everything here, Control A. Now Alt D, and I'm going to rotate 180 degrees. So the advantage of doing this is that any change I make to this geometry is going to change on the other side at the same time, because I made a linked copy, and linked copies are always very important. Edit mode. So now look at this. When I change the geometry, it changes on the other side too, because I need to reach here. Okay, I need to reach actually the exact same position, and I need to see front view. Okay, I'm going to lower this. And also it's funny because generally I don't like most of the questions. I don't like them. I consider everything that is standard, I consider it bad. I don't like standards at all. Standards never work. Jewelry design is all about special, customized, new, different, a new process every day, every time. So yes, I do use assets and all of that. I have my own assets. I sell assets. Yes, I do. It's okay, I know. And also because you need to be very contradictory. And yeah, many people think that I am a huge douchebag because I don't answer very basic questions, because I consider that most questions are improperly asked, and I don't like explaining much anymore. What I like to do is do my job, do my own art creation, whatever you want to name it, my own process, because as in many fields, people learn by watching things develop. So now I'm going to cross. Okay, I need this to be here. So you learn more by watching than by getting explained things. And then people laugh a lot. I think education should be a lot more honest about failure. We live in a system where failure is very badly understood, and people want to explain why somebody is successful and some others are not. And many people think that when you follow the footstep of somebody successful, you will be successful also. That's totally stupid. It's a very bad idea. You won't be successful because you're following the footsteps of somebody successful, you will be successful. So here we go. Uh, People want to know how to be successful at things. If you should know how much failure, emotional damage, and failure you're going to face when doing your own thing. Well, many people don't want to know about failure. They want to know because they think that success comes from success, never comes from failure. Well, actually, it's exactly the opposite. And I don't know, people are ashamed or failing all the time, etc., etc. I don't know if you make skateboard, maybe if you go skateboarding. So let's take a very simple example: skateboarding. So if you want to be like Tony Hawk, a very big or the biggest skateboard hero of all time, professional skateboarding. So if you really want to be successful at skateboarding, you need to get up on a skateboard and fail and fall. You're going to fall and fall and fall and fall and break your bones and break your bones and break your bones and break your bones again and again and again and again. So if you want a very clear answer on how to become a jewelry designer, it's exactly like skateboarding, exactly the same. You need to get up on your 3D software and you need to model, you need to model, you need to model, and you're going to fail and fail and fail again and fail and fail and fail all the time. Once you're done failing, let's say 20 years after failing everything, you might eventually become good at what you're doing. And I say eventually because it's not about your technical skills. It's partly due to many other reasons. Obviously, technically, you must be good. That's a given. You must train your technical skills. But then that will never assure you to become the champion. And people think that being a professional is going to prevent you from failing and failing again. So the only difference, in fact, after doing something 20 years, during 20 years, that after 20 years, you're not failing the same things. You need to fail new things to keep challenging yourself. Okay, so we have this. So this is just the beginning. It's not even good, but solidify this. So this is going to be the bed. The bed for gemstones at 0.775. Okay, so we have this. So anyway, it's funny because every professional is going to tell you that you need to fail, 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 fail. But above all that, despite all the failure, you need to have fun all the time. It's about fun. So one of the good, I'm using Blender because working with Blender and the concept of Blender is simply that it's a lot of fun because the software is a lot about freedom. Freedom. We need creative freedom in our process, in our tools, and Blender is very good at that. Okay, so now this is smooth and it has some thickness. Okay, but it's a twist ring, so this arm is okay. 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 So let me copy this again. We have this. Now let me rearrange the geometry to make it look prettier. So don't focus on failing that much. You need to enjoy every part of the process. Oh, and many people then ask, yeah, but I want to do this faster and faster and faster and faster. So, and especially during the live streams, I take my time because I'm pondering at the same time and I'm focusing on different things. Speed. Some people have witnessed that I can be very fast if needed. And actually, that's why I'm paid. I'm paid extra. I'm paid better than many people, and my client know I'm not cheap for a very specific reason. When something needs to be done for like yesterday, that's when people call me because they know it's going to be done for yesterday. And if there is a problem, it's going to be rectified, corrected a lot sooner, and it's worth the price. It's worth the price. So, okay, we have this, but this is not pretty yet. This side is not pretty. Okay, I don't want. Okay, so what I'm checking now already is that, by example, this side here is too flat. I want more curve. This is good. And well, anyway, because so sometimes it is about speed, but when you do something for a very long time, then it's more about enjoying the aspects, all the aspects of the process, and controlling all the aspects for a very specific process. Because if something goes wrong, it's much easier to correct it. And most of the time, if you do something very fast and something goes wrong, the problem is that it's going to take a lot more time correcting it. And that's why there is a saying, hâte-toi lentement. So it's in French. So you see, what's the saying in English? I don't even know. Okay, twist ring. So this is pretty nice on this side. Okay. Now, I have an idea. Okay, so okay, I have this. So let's go back to the design. Okay, let me show you the reference image again. Here we are. Okay, so twist rings are a lot of fun to make, but you should know that here the ring is higher. It goes over the other arm, the other side of the twist. So here it's higher, and there then it's lower because it goes over, it goes under, it goes over, it goes under. All right. So this means that it's not so easy to create a twist ring because it's symmetric, but the thickness is not always the same. So if I use the solidify tool, what's going to happen is that I'm going to get a constant thickness like this. And also I need the other side. So I'm going to copy this. Let's call it actually the other side. Okay, it's going to be lower. there, and we're going to make a -1 on the Y scale. Let's apply all the transforms. Let's flip this. Okay, so and then this and that. Okay, so it's starting to look like a twist ring. But now what I need to do, no, wait a second. What I'm going to do is, where am I going to raise? Okay, this one, I want it on the right side, 180. Okay, 180 there. And let's say, okay, this one I want. So now, what's this? Okay, so it's pretty good, but there's something here also very important. The twist varies, and I need to adapt the twist. Okay, so that's one side and one side. Who is responsible for that? Okay, this one. Or this one. Okay, so first the opening is wider, so I need to make this wider. I need this to be wider. So first I need to get the shape right, and then I will have to adapt the varying thickness, because in the twist rings, always the thickness variation is, and depends the design also. Some designs are always at the same height. Okay, so now this is a bit better, but okay, so I need this to go lower. This needs to go higher. Okay. Very nice here. Okay. So the opening is going to be so now Alt D. Let's go at -1 and okay, that's pretty nice. Pretty nice, but let me see. Okay, also, I used an offset at the beginning with the shrink wrap. I need to remove it. Okay, because the solidify helps me. All right, now there's now I need to check who is oh wait. Okay, and this is true. I need the linked copy right there. Save this. This is nice. Okay, and yeah, we're very far away from the gemstone. So it means that this is pretty nice. This needs to be higher because it's about 25 more and it's about 25 because we need to reach the gemstone, okay, the central gemstone, and it's as low as possible. Okay, the gemstone, the central gemstone is very big. Okay, now also the client says that we have 46 gemstones. So that's a lot of gemstones, and it doesn't seem to be that way, but I don't know, 43. 5, 5, well, but that's when we have 40. 43. And let's count the gemstone. Okay, so we're going to count the gemstone on the side view. We're going to count with me. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 10 on each side. Okay, so then we have 33. And then I need to check with the client because they counted the gemstone wrong. It's at least 44. It's at least 44 because the ring must be even. Yeah, even. Okay, so we have this. So now, so we have 5. So the thing that I need to do, because we have a very specific amount of gemstones, is turn the snap on already. And I need to check that the gemstones are fitting. To check that the distance, the size of the ring is correct. I think it's, yeah, it's too big. It's a bit too big. Okay, because here we need 5 gemstones, and we have one. Yeah. 90. And one there. So this means this means that this is too long. So I need to take this zone here and make it shorter. Something like there. So I need to correct this so it's not too long. Could be nice, could be good now. Let's have a look. So I need to adapt already the size of the body to the gemstones. Okay, and let's go there. So this is pretty nice. 5, so we have 5 there. Now we are going to start counting for the other side, because the client said 43, but 43 is a wrong. 43, no, so 42. Okay, let's say they have 42. I'm going to put, so that's 21, because we have 5 on one side, 5 on the other, that's 10. So 42 minus 10, that's 32 gemstones divided by 2, that's 16 gemstone on the big twist. Okay, so let's start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So the problem is that this is way too long. Bad news. That's very bad news. I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4 gemstone too long. Way too long. So I need to make this zone shorter, like a lot shorter. So that's why I'm doing this already. Okay, and the funny part that, so obviously Blender has no automated tools for jewelry design, and that's why many people always ask me, why Blender, why Blender, why Blender, why Blender, why Blender, Why blender? Why blender? Why blender? Well, the thing is that by example, in this design, the automatization or automated tools, or let's say, yeah, all the tools that you could imagine would not help me much. Actually, they make you lose time because the amount of gemstone and the size of the ring are not linked. You need to find the proper size no matter how, and the automatization is not going to help you in this design. I said earlier, in this type of design. And also because I won't have to do this design again. All my clients ask me for one specific design, customized design each time. Okay, so the problem now is that I need to shorten this. And it means that I need to cut the ring a lot. So that's exactly, well, okay, so it means that the curve needs to start much earlier. And I need to shorten this a lot because I have 4 gemstones. Okay, so let me see, 4 gemstones. So it means that the ring ends there. Okay, actually let me, because I need 16 gemstones. That's pretty good. So it was 3 gemstones. Okay, one more, please. That's not too short, but this this gemstone is the center one. It needs to be here. So the twist is not that long. So I need to adapt that. So maybe not that short, but nonetheless, I can do here maybe. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. Let's see how many I have here. It doesn't look like much. Statistics, please. 18 objects. So let's remove 1 here, 1 there. So now we have 16. Okay. Well, so that's an indication of the distance. So now I need to readapt. I need to readapt the entire body to avoid making the ring too big. I was way too big at the beginning, but that depends on the amount of gemstone. And it means that the curve okay, the curve starts earlier. So first I'm going to do the shape. I'm going to readapt the shape. And then we'll work on the thickness. Okay. This needs to go higher and further away. Here we go, here we go. And don't forget to stay outside the cylinder. Okay. So we have this. Let me look at. So obviously, like I said, first, like the general shape, because I need to shorten. I need to shorten the entire curve, the entire twist, to adapt to the amount of gemstones. So that part is not much fun. But that's the way it goes. Some parts are very easy, some parts are funnier than others. And sometimes, okay, so here I need to adapt the thickness to the, well, to be constant, visually constant. So sometimes the process is not impressive at all. Here I'm making the shape shorter, and because it's a twist, it's not very easy to compress a twist. It's not easy, and it's not even impressive, because this is really vertex by vertex modeling. And I often get the questions if there are no faster method. If you study jewelry design, you'll understand that what we need is a lot of control and a lot of precision. When it means a lot, it's a lot. Okay, now I'm going to adapt, because we're talking about very small objects. The good thing now is that 3D printing has become very precise, and the major revolution in the last years, well, decades, is the quality of the 3D printing. So now, obviously, everybody's talking about artificial intelligence. I often get asked if it's going to be important in our field. For some concept designs, maybe, but for what is very specific. Okay, so here you can see that the thickness, the width is much too small. I need to adapt the thickness for the gemstones, and also because, okay, that's a bit better, but now I want this to be rounder here. Yeah, our job is a bit weird in the sense that the things that we need to check are so specific to manufacturing the ring that for now, and you can say for still a good 10 years or even more, artificial intelligence is not changing our job for now. First, because we are not a concern for many, well, let's say, the industry doesn't care about, well, we're not mainstream at all. Jewelry design is a niche inside a niche market. And 3D jewelry design is a very, very, very specific market. So it's not likely. I mean, it can happen. Maybe a company is going to develop a software that uses artificial intelligence for something related to jewelry design. Maybe that can happen. But like I said, in our very specific field, the automatization is not welcome anymore because it's not making the difference in this very specific niche market. So it's not interesting for a big corporation to develop a tool based on maybe artificial intelligence, okay? Because there's not much money to be made. And if there's not much money to be made, then people are not interested because they don't want to lose time in developing things that have no market, basically. And basically, that's what happens and that's why I love my job because, or my job, well, it's way more than a job because I'm totally independent. I've been independent for 26 years. So, and that's because what I love to do is to create things that are very specific to the clients, you know? Okay, we have this. So now we need to correct. It's interesting. So the stones are here just to give us some indication about the amount of gemstones. Okay, so now let me readapt a bit this. Okay, so here we have 5 gemstones. And then I still need to adapt the curves. But what I did, yeah, it's pretty successful. The ring was way too big, which is a bit sad because it was the shape was really nice already, but it was way too big because we need a very specific amount of gemstone in this customization. We need 42 gemstones. And 43 counting the central gemstone. Okay, so we are here. So let's readapt. This is just, well, this is still a quick distribution. I'm making it correctly already. This is a preview still. Because I need to correct the symmetry of the curves and especially the endings and the crossing of the twist needs to be, well, needs to be checked. Okay, what I'm going to do here is take this needs. Oh, okay, I'm going to copy this without moving it. Thank you. That's one side. Is it? Okay, and that would be the other side. Okay, what happened to the other? Okay, that's one, that's correct, but what happened to, who's that? Okay, so here we can see that this is not symmetrical at all. But let me, okay, wait. This is the correct one. So let's make this, and this is one. Okay. So, okay, this is one side. And this one goes at 2.5. Okay. Okay, that's what it is. So, like I said, the symmetry is totally wrong because this arm needs to be exactly at the same position than the other one. And that's why I made a linked copy, because now it's the ending here that is totally wrong. And let's correct that. So first I'm going to move it here. Huh. Okay. Goes there. Okay. So let's move it in this direction, and this is already pretty much what we want. That's pretty nice. So okay, that's too far. No, that's not far enough. Okay, so now, okay, this is too short. Great. Okay, so I'm just readapting the symmetry of this. Now, this is the beginning, okay. The amount of gemstone is starting to be the correct one. We need 42 gemstones. Okay, that's readapted. That's pretty good. So, let me raise again. Let's call this arm. Twist. Let's put some naming. 0.00. Let's readapt the position of the gemstones quickly here. You have a good look at this twist ring. Okay, now so this should be 16 objects, 16 objects. This is perfect. Okay, so we are starting to be pretty good. So this I'm going to take a bit higher. Okay, it's pretty good. Okay, right there. So here we are, here we are. Okay, now let's make Oops. Linked copy -1. This one is 2.5. Okay. We have this. And now, okay. But this is good. Alt D, 0 degrees. Okay. And Alt D, 0 degrees. Okay, now I just need to adapt small details of oh, that's pretty good. Okay, of this and that. Okay, so this is too short. Okay, like this. Now let's have a look. Okay, now I'm going to check very specifically that the ring, that the shape of the curve has no flat or breaks on the path. We can see that here it's too flat, so I'm adapting that. It's a very small details, but it's exactly why we are redesigners. That's exactly what our job is. Okay. So this is generally good. But now I need to adapt the thickness, because the thickness varies. All right, yeah. The variation of the thickness. So I'm going to show the reference image again. This one. So here, this starts at the same level. Then this is higher. This is lower, and it ends lower. So this is higher. So there are many ways to do that, but I'm going to do it with a circle. I'm going to cut. I'm going to use a Boolean to adapt that. So it means that we need I need to cut that. Okay, let's create a cutter. So okay, we are here. So I'm going to work on those variations of thicknesses. And again, now it's very technical. So it's not very impressive to watch, but the result is going to be the variation of the thickness of the ring. And I don't need much geometry to do that, but I need to be pretty precise. Some operations are more precise than others, more technical than others. So let's try with this as a shape for now. So here I'm going to extrude on the inside like this. This doesn't need to be precise at all. Okay, here I'm going to use a solidify. Limited inside it. So SY. Oh, there. Okay, perfect. Okay, we have this. Let's have a look at face orientation. Details. So A and good. Check the normals from time to time. All right. So I need to cut this. So this. Let's make an intersection. I think I need the intersect boolean. So boolean intersect past this guy. So now the thickness is changing. Like I said, it starts. So here we can start correcting the thickness cutter. I need to adapt here. Okay, so this. Okay, so it starts at the same. That's pretty good. I can go at 2.6. All right. So that. Okay, so this is higher and now I'm going to erase this friend. I'm going to copy this here. Oh, sorry. So here I need to start meshing or applying the modifiers. Okay, what happened? What happened to this friend? The mesh is going weirdly. Let's make a object data. Okay, perfect. Here we go. So we have this higher. Who is? So these are the principal arms. So I'm going to keep this one. Because actually I don't need this side to be long. Oh wait, that's weird. Let's erase this one. I need a copy of this there. So I just need this small there. This small part. And let me see. I also need the cutter. 6. Starting to be pretty good. So the twist shape had to be adapted to the amount of gemstones. And now the cutter, I'm going to, where's the cutter? So when you make booleans, you can remesh or subdivide this with the plane to make the boolean smoother. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So now question is, let's go also here, let's go at 3. I'm also going to make the same boolean intersection here. Color right there. Okay, but now I need another color. And anyway, because I need to adapt this friend, this side, I want this part to be lower. Let's have a look at this. Okay, that's pretty nice. It's the entry on this side. Now it's too low. Now it's too low. So let's adapt that. I can even make it. But let's go on progressively removing the thickness. Okay. That's pretty good. Okay. That's good. That's good. That's good. Okay. But now I need another cutter. Well, actually, I removed from rendering. Yeah. I just need so this is all for the varying thickness of these type of designs. And that's what I'm adapting right now. Okay, so this is for the second cut. So here we're going to have a second boolean intersect with the next level. It's that one. Okay, and we have this. This is nice. So it starts same level. It's pretty good. Okay, and this is this small side. There's a copy of that. So this one can get a copy. Okay, so where did it go? Like I said, now when I make a copy, I need to make the mesh because we have Boolean cutters and this is what we can. So this is all pretty and simple and not very interesting, but there's something that needs to be done now is that these are walls. These are walls, in fact. This is not the design as it is. This is just the body, but the body needs to be carved on the inside. And we need walls. Actually, let's go to the reference image. You're going to understand. So we have the center, and we have one wall and another wall. So now I need to make these walls, and I'm going to make it I'm going to project another level of elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 5, 10, and 16. That's 42. Now before we continue, let's make the setting of the central stone. So here we have one belt, 2 belts, 1 belt. Let's go with 1 belt. Let's go with 1 belt. So let's add mesh, plane, edit mode, merge, center. We get 1 vertex. So here we need make the belt or something like that. All right, this is all right. Okay. It goes here. A 0x. We're going to make a spin. Center the spin. Ah, come on. Thanks, right? Just 60, 85. All right, this is the belt. Let's make an auto smooth. All right, let's make it smoother. This is nice. Okay, so that's the belt. How far is it? Pretty good. So it means that this guy, we can be a bit... Okay. And be a bit smaller. Median point. Set reference geometry. Center it. And let's make it small. All right. Now I'm going to make it smaller. Or rather said, I'm going to make it bigger. Because remember, we can't touch the stone. Okay, that's thinner. Yeah, pretty good distance. So now we need 4 prongs. From what I remember, we need 4 prongs. 4 prongs here. We need 4 prongs. 4 prongs. Is that true? Let's go at the image. Yeah. Okay. All right. 4 prongs. So the prongs. Make it 1. All right, let's start designing the prong. So the prong is going to be mirrored. Okay, so something important here. First, I'm going to make the manufacture prong. So it's bigger, like that. And let's extrude this way. Mirror, solidify. One. Okay, so let's no, I need everybody. Okay, we have this. Okay, so not that much. It's fairly good. Let's have a look at the prong. So it's a square prong. Pretty nice. Shade auto smooth. Okay, and now let's see if I can rotate this. Minus 45 degrees. But before I do that, I want it to be a bit thicker. And maybe let's even try. Minus 45. And here I can add another mirror based on this guy, central stone, and there. So we have this. Yes. I'm going to make the belt smaller. So we can see the prongs. Yeah. Okay. So one belt, 4 prongs, and that's pretty good. 128. Okay, so let's. Okay, so that was the easy part because now, now I need something. Oh, wait a second. I think we're good. This one has the motif. Oh, I don't see. Correct. So now I must adapt something about the thicknesses because, like I said, these are just walls. So I need to carve, and also the ring is hollow. So that means that we need to adapt cutters on the outside and on the inside. So let's start. Side view and mesh plane. Let's take one vertex. Let's go all the way here. And now I need to adapt with a distance. I need to create But there's many ways to do that. I could build this differently, but I'm going to... Well, actually, let's turn on the snap. I can also snap directly there. Did it snap? Okay, perfect. It did snap. So let me do this with the snap. And then I'm going to lower. The gemstones inside the channel. I need to create the channel. Wait a second. Okay, so far so good. Okay, here there's something I need to readapt. The belt of the gemstone needs to touch the side of the ring. All right, so okay, pretty good. And the cutter needs to go well right to the edge. Great. Okay, we have this, but before I go forward, so this is going to be the channel cutter. Here we are. So the belt needs to touch on the outside. I need to adapt. This level needs to touch the side of the ring. There. It touches the body of the ring. Okay. So let's go at 1.12 here. Okay, like this. And oops. When you have the snap turned on, beware, beware, beware. Okay, we have this. That's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. But now I need to readapt the prong. I need to readapt. Okay, that's great. I need to rotate. This needs to be on the inside. I don't want it. Okay, that part and that part needs to come out. Are we out? Yeah, from quite high. Maybe a bit more thickness. Thickness 1, 1, 2. Okay. But this shouldn't be... Well, this is too long. I don't need... Ah, that's good. Okay, minus 44. Okay. Now, that being said, the channel cutter. Okay, so... the snap with the individual elements. So now I need to extrude on the y-axis. Oh wait, what happened there? The snap on the gemstone. Snap here. Is everybody all right? Yeah, that's pretty neat. Okay, A. Extrude on the y-axis. There. Now I need to adapt distances. Okay, here we can see. Oh, this is great because the view is very clear now with the thickness in light gray. Now here we have something to adapt. Because the cutter... Okay, so let me hide the gemstones for a second. Here. Well, we need to finish exactly here at the center, 0 on Y, and everybody with the... keeping the thickness. Come on, here and there. Okay, we have this. So this is a channel cutter, but yeah, like I was saying, we need to adapt to the curve because the distances are not automatically the same. Okay, so the distance to the border. And then don't forget that the ring is hollow. Even if this ring is already very light, most clients, when it's a gold ring, they want the lightest possible design. And that's very special to the jewelry industry because gold is very expensive, very expensive. So if we can save even 0.1 grams, and that's real life, 0.1 grams of gold, if you can save that, depending the client, he's going to be very happy. That's part of designing for the jewelry industry and professional jewelers. The weight of the jewel is a paranoia, in some cases more than others, but the weight of the jewel is very, very important for most professional clients. Okay, so here I'm making the cutter for the channel. Then I will set the stones and the prongs inside the channel. And then we'll have to cut on the inside of the ring, on the inside. Now I'm still working on the outside. Okay, so let's say we have this. This is pretty nice. So now what I can do a solidify with no offset at point. Let's go point. Well, actually, let's go to 1. Okay, we have this. I'm going to make the bevel and the subdivision surface level 3. Okay, we have this. Now I can adapt the shape by sight. Like I say, always check that you don't have straight lines, because depending on the distance between vertices, you often get straight lines. So you need to readapt the distances. Okay. All right. Okay. So here you can see the curve is straight. A straight curve. Well, that's when a curve is broken. Okay, so I need to readapt that. Okay, we have all this. This is pretty nice. So now, this object is going to get a Boolean difference from the cutter And that's how you get a very clean channel. But I want it deeper channel. So the thickness can vary here. Let's go at 1.4. Okay, so that's a great channel cutter. Great. Because now I can start distributing. Well, actually, this one no, but the other ones. So they are going to go there. But well, actually, let me erase all the gemstones there because I need a higher center for gemstones. These gemstones go inside the channel, but they need to be much higher than the actual center. Somewhere here should be good. So let's see if that's still too deep. Needs to be higher. There it should be good. All right, let's go again. So this one, well, this one is indicative. It goes there. This is pretty good. So now I need exactly 16 gemstone. So the distance between the stones is pretty good. There. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10. That's 10. 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, and 16. Oh, that one slipped. Don't sleep. Don't sleep and don't slip. Okay, we have this, but let me check. I need this friend. Copy this. Oh, no, wait. Okay, I need this. Shift D. When you have the snap turned on, funny things happen. Okay, there you go. Just letting, okay, so the distance, okay, so I need to readapt now because I don't have that much distance. So it means that the gemstones are closer one to another. And let's readapt the distances. And also the nice things. Okay, find a thank you. Okay, that's a nice question. Let me see. So most of the models that you see on the channel are from are manufactured in the United States, and I don't always have, well, actually I don't have, well, what I can show you here, well, I can show you a part of the process in gold. I almost never have the finished product, sadly, but I do have, okay, here. So here, this is the side view. Okay, so they're polishing the ring of a model I just did recently. So I can't, I sadly can't show you the finished product most of the time. And I know that's a problem. Maybe once or twice a year, the client sends me, ah, wait. Okay, so let me find the render of this. Where's, okay, this one is this model. You can recognize the side there, the paw of the dog. That's from a dog. So this ring, well, they manufacture it in white gold, sometime in yellow gold, and this is a yellow gold, obviously a version. It's in process, or maybe this one actually has been discarded because of the casting. You know, the casting process. There's the modeling, 3D modeling process. Then there's the casting process, well, printing process, casting process, and then the jeweler solds, polishes, sets the stones, etc., etc. So this one has been removed from the chain because the casting wasn't good enough. But the model is a model I did 2 weeks ago or last week. And maybe if I find, where can I find, maybe there's a, let me, so like I say, that the jeweler rarely sends me the finished product because, well, actually, but you can see the process because I know that some people don't believe that they manufacture the models, but obviously it's my everyday job, and okay, that's one. It's all I have now from these weeks. So sorry, I don't have more. But thanks for the question, and thanks for joining the stream. So yes, because that's a very important part of my job or the channel, is that all the designs that you see on the live streams are manufactured. I'm not just here to pretend that I'm a designer or things like that. I really live. My living is 3D modeling, and more specifically for jewelers. But I also make logos or animations for many different type of clients, or 3D assets also, 3D materials. By example, some of my clients love my gemstone materials, so they pay me to develop specific opal or pearl or gold materials for their business. So most of my work is 3D now, but I am a jeweler, except that I'm almost done manufacturing jewelry. Okay, so now that's one channel cutter. That's the channel cutter. So now what I'm going to do is copy this channel cutter to the right side. Okay, and this side is going to get a boolean also difference, and we're going to carve the channel on the right side. So now they're just Okay, so the cutter, I'm going to adapt actually this cutter. I'm going to adapt it without the snap because I need to cut the tip there at the ending. Okay. So I think now I'm good. Am I good? No, I'm not good. Okay. And I'm going to do the same. So it means that this copy, I'm going to make a new copy. Shift D, -1 on the y-axis. And this Boolean channel cutter here. So now we are good. Let me just hide this for a second. Yeah, the cut is good. Precision is good. There's a very, very slight. Here, there's a very, very slight. But this is less than a hair, but that's too much. I'm going to make the cut. It's because of this cutter. That's the second cutter, I think. Yeah. So I'm going to adapt. I'm going to adapt this. Wait, it's here. So it's this and that. It means that this should be here. Okay. So almost. Because obviously we can, most of the time we can really make it perfect, and it depends the importance of the part or also what they're paying. If the client is paying, okay, that's great. That's almost 0. Okay, so we have, okay, this is great. This is great. Now, what I can change also is that this element doesn't need to be that long. I can erase this, well, or I can shorten it, especially. So I don't have to make another cutter there. Okay, so now it's not coming out on that side. And that's great. Now I can erase this. Here I'm going to make a copy of this, make it mesh. So that's already the symmetric side there. It's starting to look good. So we're not done yet because I need to set the prongs on the channel, on the gemstones there. I need the prong, and I need to set these 5 little gemstones right there. So this is fast. Okay, so I'm going to erase this again because I changed. Remember that I changed the, okay, there. I'm centering this friend, -90, 90. I don't, weird. Okay, there. But this can be, okay. So this one is centered. Yes. This is great. Side view. So thanks for joining the stream, or joining the stream again. So I progressed quite much. Now the design is much more interesting. And then we still have to follow the ring on the inside. This model is very specific, very lightweight. For me, I would not follow the inside, but I'm going to show you the reference image, and you're going to see that, well, actually, I'm just customizing a model. I'm not inventing any design here. Okay, so this one needs to be lower. This one's pretty good. Now let me change So here's something I need to lower. I need to lower the center of gravity of that gemstone, because on the side here the border is smaller. Okay. Or am I? Yeah, I'm going to take the second cutter here. I'm going to make it lower. Yeah, that's a bit better. So anyway, okay, so this fits very well. This is three. That's very good. Okay, so the gemstones are set. So I'm going to join all the gemstones. Diamond, diamond, side one. Reset everything. Yes. Now let me do a shift D, 180 degrees. They go to the other side. We have this. Now we have this shift D, C mesh, 0 degree. That's the other side. Okay, now I need to take this friend. Here I need to extrude this. And we're going to make it smaller. 0 and 1. Wait, everybody gotta be 0. Okay. All right, there's something weird on this side. Let me check something. Okay, here. All right, we're going to add a boolean. This. Okay, great. This one also. That's a cutter. Okay, and so then, like I said, you're going to see that we need to cut on the inside. I'm going to show you on a... Okay, there. Now this. Okay, that goes there, but so here I need a cutter also for this. Let's do it at 1.2 here. Come on. Ah, the handle there. Okay, here we go. Now here. Okay, it's pretty nice. Okay, but we need a cutter. Okay, then we need this. 50 again. That's that side. Okay, that's pretty good. So I need to cut. Yeah, we'll have to cut that. So, or I cut it on the inside. Yeah, I think I'm going to go like that. Ooh. Okay, let me see. No, that's the curve. That's the mesh. Okay. So that's pretty good. Okay. So for most, okay, now the prongs, basically the prongs. Okay, so let's work on the prongs. Add mesh sphere. Let's go at 0.7. Now I need this here. Let's try that. Smooth. So this is prong. Oh, one. Mesh to surface. Mesh to surface. But compared to what software, because mesh and surface and Blender is the same thing. You would change between curves and mesh, because a mesh in Blender is a solid, is a closed solid. Well, it's you have NURBS in Blender also. You have curves and you have meshes. So mesh and surface in Blender is the same thing. Because if I add a mesh plane, well, this is a surface. It's a mesh. So if you can specify your question, well, try to specify the question, because in Blender you would change between curves and meshes because they're different type of geometry. But well, yes, you can. So okay, here I need something like that. So the prong needs to be, and let's make it a bit bigger. Okay, here, and it also depends what for. What for? Okay, let's work on the prongs. But yeah, the answer is yes. Okay, so the prongs are still, they're too low. Want the prong to be higher. It means that this just gotta go there. And this gotta go there. Let's make it a bit bigger. Okay, again, here we go with the prongs. So are we good now? Okay, we're good. We are good. So okay, you're talking about nerves. No, you would go from nerves to mesh. Actually, in most software, if you're modeling with nerves are smoother than meshes. So that's why many people use NURB modeling. And in Blender, you can use NURB modeling if you want. I don't use it because I think mesh modeling is much more precise. It's a bit slower, but the topology of the mesh used to be bad, let's say, but it's not bad anymore because mesh modeling has evolved, especially thanks to a subdivision surface many years ago. So I'm not even using NURBS anymore. But I understand many people, by example, because in Rhino became famous because they focused a lot on NURB modeling. So it became the NURB modeling software for almost anything. But then mesh modeling became easier and faster and more precise thanks to subdivision surface. So I consider we don't even need NURB modeling. But in Blender you do have, actually you go there, add surface. I actually surface NURBs, here all the NURBs. Okay, and Blender is pretty good with NURBs also. Except that I don't even care about studying NURB modeling because because I think mesh modeling is way more efficient for anything I need to do. But that's anybody's decision. I mean, NURB modeling is okay. So here I need to adapt something specific because of the booleans and all of these type of things. By example, here I'm doing mesh modeling, but I can readapt the depth of my cutter because here the cutter was taking away too much of the border. And yeah, this is all mesh model. But good question. This is a good question. And well, but you would go from surface to mesh. You can go back and forth, but you generally wouldn't do that because NURB is a lot less geometry. It's a few control points, making a very smooth surface. That's what the NURB revolution was, what, 20 years ago? Maybe even more. Well, a couple of years, well, let's say 10 years ago, maybe, or 20 years ago, when NURB modeling came out in 3ds Max, by example, and then Rhino came out and it was all NURB modeling. So it was a great advantage. That's when Rhino was a big deal. But I consider that Rhino is not, I don't like the mentality behind Rhino. I don't like the business behind Rhino. And also the word that Rhino is a great useful software, but their biggest issue now is that well, of piracy, you know, that I never met anybody buying Rhino. And I know thousands of people making. So that's their worst problem. People love Rhino because nobody pays for Rhino. But Rhino is not a free open source software. And that's where people are wrong. You should never use a software without any license. But anyway, so prongs. Okay, I have all the prongs. So here in the list, I select all the prongs. I join the prongs. I reset the prong location and all. I copy the prongs and 180 degrees rotation. And this is pretty great. So this design is a bit weird because let's go at the pictures, and that's why I have pictures on the inside of the ring, because I need to cut on the inside. So that's a bit weird because this design is not really heavy, but that's how the design is. And well, I need to cut the walls now. Okay, so let me just erase that for a second. I'm going to keep that in line here. Then I'll make a cutter for that part. Okay, now also the gemstones. I need to transform. Okay, let's take the diamonds and I need to carve. So let's make a copy and let's call these cutters. Cutters. There we go. Right. So yes, in Blender you can use NURBS, but you would go from NURBS to mesh. And you can go back and forth, but you wouldn't generally. Because then your NURB is not that smooth if you come from a mesh to a NURB. Okay, now I need to make cutters from all these guys. So generally, I do the cutters beforehand, but now I'm going to do them now, which is not the best idea in the process. You shouldn't do them now, but here we are, and I need to... So I need to select the geometry. And it won't be that easy. Okay, so let me hide this. So I'm not erasing here, I'm just selecting the tip of the gemstones because I'm going to make the cutters. And like I said, usually I make a specific object with the gemstone and I make the cutter way earlier. Just, well, today it's because it's a live stream and the process, the workflow is not necessarily so polished than when I work on my own. Live streams are always more improvised. So here, this is an example where I need to make the cutters for the gemstones position. But it's not much of a problem, in fact, because what I'm going to do here, so I'm selecting all the intermediate level. Yeah. Let me see if I make an even. This is pretty good. Okay, so what I'm going to do here now is put the cursor to the center, and I'm going to make an extrusion to the 3D cursor. So I make an extrusion. And now I scale them down like this. Just that I'm not sure. Yeah, we won't move on the y-axis. I'm going to keep a proportion of 1. And yeah, this is great. So let's go at 0.75. 0.75. And now, okay, so I have this, but don't forget that I need to make these other gemstones here. So my process now is very peculiar, but it works. This is a trick when you need gemstone cutters in very specific positions, like I do now. But like I said, normally I create the cutters with the gemstones, and I create a specific cutter. But I didn't. So now I make an extrusion through the 3D cursor, 1 on the y-axis, so they keep centered, and there you go. I have gemstone cutters. So this is that. Now I'm going to add a remesh there, even maybe at 0.15. Okay, like that. I'm going to smooth okay, smooth that. And now I'm going to make the Boolean difference from the cutters here. And we get, okay, we get nothing. It should be exact maybe. Okay, the Boolean is failing because I need to remesh. I know, but anyway, This is not this is not the good side. Okay, let me take this side. Okay, this side is the one that gets the booleans. So fast. Diamond cutters, diamonds. Okay, we get this. And here we have the cuts for the gemstones. This is good enough. In this case, it's good enough. So, okay, let's make a copy again. Shift D, Alt C. 0, that's that side. Now, this small side needs a boolean, boolean, fast from the cutters. 2. The cuts are great. Let's make a copy mesh 0 degrees. Okay, but like I said, this is nice and all you want, but now I need to hollow the inside of the ring. That's a bit peculiar, but let's do that. So I need this very same object, and okay, let's go have a look at the image. So I'm going to make cutters because, like I said, here on the outside we have outside walls, and we have inside walls and outside walls. So the ring is hollowed out. And like I said, it's a bit weird, but I also said that if the weight is very important, and for this client, believe me, the weight is very important. So it means that the weight must be very, very low as possible. And that's actually the last step that this ring requires. And we're going to do that because actually this type of design are generally finished like this. You want the body to be solid. You don't want to hollow this type of design, but sometimes it's hollowed out. So we need to make, because we are going to remove at least 0.5 grams of gold. And 0.5 grams of gold is a lot of money. You should know that. Everybody working as a jeweler or a jewelry designer knows that. The weight is very, very important. Okay, so I need to copy. Well, it's not that bad. I need to copy this element. I'm going to remove all the modifiers on the copy, and I'm going to make it okay, except the shrink wrap. Okay, so here what I need to do now is I need to adapt the thickness, and because it's a twisting ring, it's not that easy because one part needs to go one side. So let's say I'm going to move that -0.6. That's the thickness. 4.6. Okay, it's correct. Okay, so let's move -0.6. But that won't necessarily work because it's a twist ring, because this needs to go higher. So I need to adapt the cutter on the inside. I need to adapt that by hand. Okay. Oh no, wait, this is on the inside. Don't do the inside now. So I'm going to work the outside, the outside, and then the inside. Okay. But I need to adapt that thickness specifically to the twisting curve. And like I said earlier, softwares and automation don't help you much with this type of design, because a twisting ring varies in position all the time. And even very powerful softwares fail, like Matrix or even Tree Design, they systematically fail on twisting rings. So that's why I prefer doing this directly in Blender, because of course the process is longer, is slower in Blender. Okay, it is. Obviously, you need more steps to achieve the same results than when using a Matrix or Tree Design. Okay, but the control over the mesh is so much higher in Blender that the time I lose making all the steps is the time I win afterwards. So in the end, for somebody that makes many customized design like I do, I prefer using Blender directly instead of using a specific jewelry software like Tree Design or Rhino Gold or Matrix or whatever. So, and also because Blender is legally accessible to more people. So because I keep teaching 101 online 3D modeling, I still teach that when somebody, when people are nice to me. Okay, so we have this. Now, this is going to be a solid, let's go at what? Well, maybe, what did I say? Solidify? Okay, offset 0, thickness 1.5. I'm going to bevel this. There we go. So Blender is more accessible to more people. That's something very attractive about Blender, and legally accessible. Because, like I said, I would never teach Rhino because, first, I don't like Rhino, and nobody owns Rhino. So it means that you always start having problems with licenses when using other softwares, and that's not good. That's not good for the student. That's not good for anybody. And it's worse when you're teaching. All right, so now last boolean of them all, and look at this. This design has so many booleans. Okay, fast removal of the inside cutter. So let's call this inside twist cutter. There we go. And here. Okay, that's great. Now we need to no, you're wrong, man. You're wrong. We're not talking about Rhino. Rhino Gold costs $4,000. $4,000, and that's the cheap version. So no, Pablo. Oh, sorry, Paolo. Paolo, no. Rhino Gold is not cheap at all. It costs thousands of dollars. Thousands. Yep. Oh yes, that is true. Yep. Yeah, I know. Sorry, I didn't specify that earlier. No, but we're talking Rhino Gold and Matrix and Tree Design. So all jewelry softwares are very expensive. But it's not you mentioned that. But and that's why one of the main, well, actually the main reason I started using Blender, even if I worked with Tree Design for 12 years as a school, as an expert teacher, as a seller, as a licensed reseller, that was a great business. But the problem was that with my students, the students could not afford buying an $8,000 $3,000 or $4,000 software. Beginner students, even advanced, very good students, that was too much money to invest in buying a jewelry software. And here in Mexico, here in Mexico, I was 3Design reseller, a 3Design school, and 3Design is one of the best software, is the most exquisite, good-looking interface user software is 3Design. It's way more better looking than Matrix, but yeah, the price, the price is around. It goes from $4,000 to $8,000 depending the options you want. So the price is very correct for the jewelry industry, but for students, the student license was very accessible. It was around $500-$600 for the 3Design student license. That was a very good deal, but it was just for 1 year, which was a good deal because it's student license. You pay $600 and you get one of the best jewelry software, which is that is 3Design. It's one of the greatest competitors to Matrix and Rhino Gold. But the thing was that my school was very famous. I had a very strong position as a jewelry teacher, as a jewelry drawing teacher, 3D modeling school, 3D jewelry school. But the price of the softwares were way too high. So yeah, that's true. Yeah, the well, you can do that in Blender. Okay, so I started using Blender because my students could use a very good 3D software, that's Blender, and we can make all the jewelry designs we need legally and in a way more affordable option. And that was the perfect solution to all of my teaching problems as a school, as a teacher. Also because I'm always very interested in legal issues about customer rights, software licenses, copyright infringement about designs and all of that. And it was very important to find a legal, affordable, very efficient solution because, okay, Blender is a more affordable solution. But it's not because it's affordable that it's a bad solution. I had to find a very efficient software because that was my competitive edge compared to schools in Mexico, but even worldwide because there are not that many jewelry schools in the world. So my school was very famous in many countries around the world, in Spain, in England also, in France, in the US. My school was pretty famous worldwide because I was working a lot with many students and achieving very visible results as jewelers and as 3D jewelry designers with my students. So the problem is that I had to find a very efficient solution, a legal solution, and something that the students could afford. And that's when I started searching like 10 years ago or more. I found Blender and I started working with Blender 10 years ago, a bit less, maybe 8 years ago, 7 years ago, I don't remember exactly. But the point is that I needed a very efficient solution as a professional. And Blender was the best solution to that to that specific problem because it works at a professional level. And I know because I use Blender for jewelry modeling and I compete against any type of software. And it's a very workable solution. Obviously, in some aspects, I'm going to lose a bit of power inside of the specific tools that I can get Blender. But Blender is affordable, is accessible. Well, affordable, it's basically free. But that was the story behind how and why I went from being a star user of tree design at international level to using Blender as a professional jewelry designer, as a jeweler, and as a jewelry school. So first, I found Blender to answer all my issues for my students first. Then Blender started to be also the answer to my problem with other software was that I do a lot of jewelry animation. I love making animations. I needed a software that could make amazing renders very quickly and had the power to make any type of animation. And also I found the answer for me in Blender because Blender is not just a modeling software. Cycles is one of the fastest rendering engine that you can find anywhere. So that's when Blender became very important to me. In Mesh Mixer, no, you can't. No, I would never think of Mesh Mixer to be as versatile than Blender. Because one of the greatest advantages of Blender is that it's very good at many different things. Modeling, texturing, animations, now you can use the geometric nodes, the simulation nodes, also to model jewelry. So that's the thing. I don't like using that many softwares. But in what software? In Mesh Mixer, you say you can add libraries? Or in Blender? Just if you can specify. But okay, let's go to the, let me just see. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, Paolo is right about Mesh Mixer. Mesh Mixer is famous for repairing STLs and things like that. But I wouldn't use Mesh Mixer as my main modeling tool. And actually, I'm really only using Blender for all my designs. And I make a lot of designs. Even for sculpting, I use Blender. So Shift D C 0. Okay. So here we have, let me check something. The depth of the hollowing might be. Ah. Yeah, but the snap tool in Blender Blender has an amazing snap tool. The snap options in Blender are very efficient. So if you have an already existing STL, just bring it to Blender and you can make all the gemstone and all the prong works in Blender. And also because Blender is getting very smooth in the viewport in edit mode. I know Blender used to be pretty bad at edit mode. When editing the mesh, Blender is sadly known to be very heavy, very slow, and all of that. But like I say all the time, if you have generally that problem in Blender when editing a mesh, is because you have a very bad knowledge of the mesh technology in Blender. You don't need that much geometry to create. Look at this. This is created. Well, that's all the geometry I have is this. 40 points. 40 points create the entire twisting ring. 40 points. Obviously, then I have cutters and things like that. But you don't need much geometry to create very high resolution geometry in Blender. And that's a very specific technical reason why, as a professional jeweler, I use Blender, because these very specific technically relevant issues that we have as CAD jewelers or 3D jewelers in Blender, they work very well. It's very, very, very specific. And then you're mentioning Marcus. Marcus is mentioning that if you want to bring other objects on top of existing geometry, Blender is very good at that. So if I have to make a pavé, I'm going to make it in Blender. So where is the twist cutter? Ring twist. Ring twist. Inside. Okay. So here I'm going to check the depth. Okay, so I have, this can be thicker. 152. Okay, so this is pretty good. So the decision of using Blender was based on the other example I can give, Booleans. The Booleans, and you can testify today. You can be my witnesses. See the amount of Booleans. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Booleans on this mesh. 5 Booleans, and it's not failing. When I started using Blender, one of the first, because when you're a professional in anything, you know exactly what you're looking for. And the Booleans, you should know that Booleans fail in any software. Sooner or later, the Boolean is going to fail. But that's mathematical because of manifold edges, holes, and things like that. But so Blender is not the exception. The difference is that in Blender, they tend to fail for very mathematical reasons, for very reasonable reasons. For very reasonable reasons. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. And that's one of the first things I've checked is the usage of the Boolean. Is it good or not inside Blender? You can very rationally and technically show and actually challenge anybody to use Boolean in any other software. And I know that Blender is going to fail after. Rhino is going to fail first at Booleans. I know that for a fact by using the softwares, because it's based on how they're programmed, and you can see the results while working with the software. So a very specific example for us jewelers, in jewelry design, we need a lot of booleans because we need to drill this, we need to cut that, then we need to drill that one, then we need to cut that shape, then the other shape, then the side light, then the thickness there. We need to cut, cut, cut. So we need booleans a lot. And one of the first things I checked is Blender any good at booleans? And the answer was yes, and I can prove it day after day. I can challenge anyone at the usage of booleans in any softwares, and I know that I'm going to get a higher, I mean, it's never 100%, but also when it fails, how can you solve the problem? And I know that in Blender, we have many different ways of solving the problem, okay, compared to other software. What is volume modeling? That's new to me. Like what you refer to as volume modeling. Okay, so here I made the inside hollow. Now we need to connect this and that. Question is, where's the geometry of that tip? What is volume modeling? Paolo, what is volume modeling for you? What is volume modeling? Okay, here we are. Okay, so okay. Okay. Yeah, by example, that in Blender is remeshing. Because the remesher in Blender makes a voxel remesh of any mesh. And it's great. Voxel remeshing came out like 5 years ago in Blender. So it has a pretty long time that it's available in Blender. And that would be the same effect, the effect that we get in Blender. Okay, so now, yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so now I just need a cutter for, I need a cutter for the body of the ring there, that part, that block there. I need to cut it, and then the modeling is done. Fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to copy this again here. There you go. The prongs again. Here we go. Okay, well, good luck with your wife. Have a nice day. Take care. Thanks for joining. Thanks for your comments. It was really interesting. Okay. Now I just have, which prongs are they? Okay, so very small detail. Now the prongs here. I need to lower this slightly. Okay, so these are very small details. The modeling is almost, well, almost done. And okay, we have this here. Everybody's inside. Okay, so the prongs are good. So I just need, the last step is the detail of the body. I need a V cutter here. So add mesh, plane, merge, vertex. Okay, now I'm going to make a cutter here. Now let's make this. Okay, let's level this to at the center right there. Now this is going to be mirror on the y-axis. Here, rotate a bit. I need to extrude that. Let's see exactly that. Okay, so this is just for that. So this is a curve. I need it to be a mesh now. Okay, and this will be beveled and remeshed. No, subdivided. Bevel subdivision. That can be all before the mirror. No, sorry, not true. The mirror is first here. Okay, I have that. I need to merge at 0.1. Okay, we have this. That's great. And this is just true. Okay, and then I need another mirror. The x-axis, so the body here needs the cut of that Boolean difference right there, and let's hide that. And okay, we're good. We're good. So here, just a small detail. I can wait. To raise this, let's raise that. There's, if you see the inside, the tip on the inside there, it's not clean. And that's because I can add the cutter of the inside cutter number 2 to cut the other side of that very small ending there that's not ending properly. So inside cutter number, well, this one, but it goes there, so I'm not going to. Okay, so nothing I need to change there, nothing there. That one is good. That one is good again. And here we are. Okay, so this is the modeling of the ring, but I need to detail. I need to make the render to show to the client. So I'm going to do that very quickly. So first I'm going to check the STL file. All right. So okay. So let me hide the diamonds. Yeah. So this is the 3D model. It's finished. Yes, it's a size 8 American. So now I'm going to select everybody here. Take care. See you soon. And thanks for joining. So the twist ring STL print. So I'm going to make the STL print of this ring. Okay, and I'm going to export this. Now I'm going to check the geometry in a new file here. So first I need to check that the STL is not too heavy. It's not 15 megabytes. That's perfect for an STL. That's perfect. So let's go to Netfab. Let's go to Netfab. I had the free version since 10 years ago. Okay, so that's netfab. I'm going to load the STL, and maybe it needs a remesh. Okay, let's put the print. That's funny. Print STL. Is that the twist ring, or that's another one? Can you open my file there, please, software? Okay, so here there's a mistake of normals. The green is good. That is not okay. So let's go back to the ring twist ring here. Don't save. Okay, so a normal check, and this one is red. So let's but it's okay, now flip the normals outside right there, and very okay. So everything is blue. Let's export it again. Let's overwrite the STL right there, here. And now let's check the STL again right there. And there will still be a warning, maybe, yes, okay. That's all the booleans need to be, let's say yeah, okay. So that's a very simple reparation. You need to repair your STL, apply the reparation. There. This model is ready for 3D printing. The weight is, okay, the weight is 0.6 times 14. That's the specific weight of the white gold, right? So now I just save the STL right there. And this is good. The modeling is done, and now I can make the render. So let's make a quick good render. So for that, I'm going to append all the materials from my other scenes. Obviously, there I do use my own assets. The diamonds. Okay, I need the diamond material, right? Wait. Do we have? Okay, so let's go here. Plane is that. Okay. Going from that. Okay, and now something very important. I need to make the render, but I'm going to copy the prongs. These are the prongs for the STL file. Okay, so I can hide these now. Now this is render prongs. So there, I put a warning because you should never use this object for printing, because I'm going to modify the prompt to make the render of the finished product here. So the prongs are a lot smaller. I'm going even to tweak the thickness there. Well, no, bad idea, because they go on the inside. So I'm going to flip. Wait a second. I'm going to apply this thickness for a second. Oh, come with me. Okay, I'm going to remove the inside. And or I'm going to adapt. I'm going to adapt the inside there. And especially I'm going to close the prong there. That's mostly funny, but why did it get separated? Why did it get separated like this? Why not? So, okay, let's bring this SX0 at 0. Okay, these are the prongs for the render. Minus 45. Very good. Okay, we have this. Let's have a normal check before we make the render. Okay, pretty good. So now we need environment. It's already set. Where from? It's a great question. That's funny. Okay, I'm going to append the materials from another sea. I need gold and the diamond because I'm not sure where that diamond came from. Well, from one of my files, but it's not the one I want. Okay, I need white gold and the diamond. All right, so white gold for everybody. White gold. I'm going to set the viewport color to something darker so we can see who has the material applied or not. Here we go. I don't have that many objects. You can select the objects all at once. You can make the white gold and propagate the material object link, material link here right there. That's the faster way, but you always forget an object. Here we are, and great. Now the diamonds, same, same old same. I'm not sure. No. Okay, it's this version and propagate link material. Thank you. Now I'm going to append a floor, a very simple floor from another file. Which one? This one. Material, no, object. I'm going to bring the floor, a simple plane for the floor. This is just the render. So the floor, where are you, floor? Floor. Ah, this one has no floor. I want a floor called floor. So this, which one had? I don't know which one had a floor. Whoa, had a white floor. Well, maybe there. Okay, object. Where are you, object? Floor. That's my floor. All right, now let's see what texture I have on this floor. Okay, there. Now let's go to shading the world. Let's remove this image. I think. Okay, let's bring my favorite. This one. Let's remove some of this. Top view. Here we are. All right, top view now. Okay, that's a simple rock. Well, I'm going to remove. No. Okay, let's make no bump. Let's make nothing on the floor. Let's make just a simple white floor. Or not. Maybe not. Let's bring an image. Let's bring a. Well, okay, let's bring some wood because we had. Okay, this wood is good. All right, that wood. Let's make it darker, a bit darker. Okay, now let's make it maybe bigger. Okay. Now about, do we have lights? No, we shouldn't have lights. Okay, so we have a bad contrast on this rotation. It's not even rotated. I don't understand why the light is not good. I guess, okay. I'm going to check the beveling there. Okay. The beveling here is not set properly. Let's go at 0.2. 0.15 is good. The strength of the bump is too strong on the gold. That's a bit better. Top view. Okay. Now we need. I'm going to remove a bit of the strength. Okay, more saturation This HDR is slightly blue, but I'm going to remove strength. And I'm going to add just a very simple point light source, 40 minus 40. Okay, let's exaggerate the light ones and shadow down there. Okay, here it is. All right. So that's a very okay. So we need more light. Okay, that's the top view. That's the top view. Okay. Okay, so I need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy paste the views. So we have the top view there. The render is good enough for, well, let's just make the floor smaller so the texture looks better. And let's move it to somewhere there. Okay, here you remove that, the overlays, and you remove that, and you just take a window shot. So let me remove the screencast there. Here we are. And here we go. I take a view of this top view. Now I need a side view. So on the side view, I'm going to remove the floor. Apparently the floor is okay. That's good. That's good enough for a side view. I could lower, let's lower the gemstone slightly, because one set it goes like that. It's a bit too high. The prongs are set correctly. Windows shot right there. Side view. Oh no, wait, this is weird. Just the window. So side, and we're going to make a couple of isometric views, or so here I need to adapt the position of the floor accordingly to this one is pretty good. So I need to scale it a bit and move it there and move it there so it fits, just to take a square view. And the light is too small. Let's make it bigger so it makes, so this is a very simple generic render. Okay, I'm going to rotate this maybe there for this side, and let me see what I can get. And this is pretty good. I'm talking about the refractions and the light on the main diamonds. Okay, so that's one view, and I need just the fourth view maybe here, and let's adapt this. Let's rotate it on the z-axis. So I'm just taking very generic views of the ring as a technical presentation, because that's what I send to the client. So he just needs to see that the model is accurate from what they need. But you know what? We're going to make the inside. Okay, this view is important. The inside, to show the client that the model is hollowed out exactly like the original. Okay, so that's the fourth view. and the body is rounded. The rest is square, but this part is rounded. So now, wait. So now I bring the images in. I use Coral. I use Coral to do that. So I have my images right there. Okay, so I'm going to enclose. I'm going to enclose the views inside rectangles or square. Friends. That's one. So that's why I don't need a perfect render. I just need nice views, and clients love my renders because they look nice enough and they look realistic enough. Well, actually, more than that, for them, they're very happy with my renders. The realism level is quite lovely because I know exactly what to do, how to present the projects, and that's a plus. That's a big plus because my models are very precise, very manufacturable, and the renders look at least really pretty. So that's something they really enjoy. So it's the typical four views presentation. Sometimes we need more, but rarely, and sometimes just one view or two views. And here we are. So that's what I'm going to send to the client. And I'm pretty happy because I was able to finish the entire project during this stream. As always, it started very slowly, very boringly. Many steps were not very interesting, but in the end, this is exactly what we needed. So this is the twist ring views. Here we go. And let's make it 216. And this is it for today. We made a twist ring. We made a nice twist ring with a big central gemstone, well, diamond, and nice twists. And this ring is hollowed. The position of the gemstones are properly cut out. This is white gold. This was entirely done in Blender 3.4, modeling and rendering. Thanks for joining my stream today. Had nice questions from Paulo and from Marcus. And as always, take care and see you soon.